heels clicking down a midnight street, velvet lips and a heart off beat, gin in her glass and fire in her stare. One little choice and poof, she's not there. Caught in a loop where the dice won't land, she spins the record with a trembling hand. It's the butterfly effect, feel the flutter in your chest. One wink, one step, and the world's redressed. From Paris to Prague, neon nights connect, dancing through the... In my cabaret, I played a show today. Come along now, I heard them say. My piano plays with the tunes it makes. I belong now to the cabaret. The tunes, the lights, the sound, the people come around. The music's getting loud. Oh, oh, oh. You know where the night goes. Me and my piano, we're the stars of the show. Me and my piano, the lights, the sounds, the shows. Me and my piano, the crowd is getting close. Me and my piano, the lights, the sounds. Me and my piano, the crowd is getting close. The crowd is getting close. Me and my piano.
Good evening. Welcome to the Sulk stream. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Yeah, welcome. It is, what is today? Wednesday. And we're doing FBI stuff. We're doing horror stuff. We're doing cold case stuff. So, hopefully it's not gory. It's not like finding some Irishman's head in a bucket, but we'll see. I didn't watch this one, so we're going in blind. We're also going to be having Jess. Good old Jess on the show at some point whenever she decides to mosey in, because I thought it'd be fun to have her, take over the stream for a little bit. Maybe I should have saved that as a surprise. Too bad. Too late. Doesn't matter. Anyways, guys, thanks for coming. Welcome to the Sulk stream. Yeah. I guess I don't have too much to say. I don't have a opening monologue for this. It's fine. So just get comfy, get cozy, grab a nice bottle of whiskey or whatever you happen to have. You know, turn on that one swinging light bulb as you wear your wife beater in the basement because, you know, you just can't stand those damn kids no more. Yeah. If you're working, keep working. And if you are driving, please drive safely. Get home safely. Hit the like button. Hit the share button. Do all those things that make the show go big and all that. I would appreciate it very much. Anyways, I'm the Incredible Sulk. This is the Sulk stream. This is called Horrors from an FBI Database. Enjoy.
It's 1981. New President Ronald Reagan has just survived an attempt on his life.
Okay.
An emerging virus called HIV is becoming a growing concern.
AIDS?
And workers at a
AIDS?
wastewater
Okay.
treatment plant in Richmond, Virginia have just made a grisly discovery. An employee had been walking along the settling basin, a structure used to separate water from
Evening.
solid material, when he saw what
Evening, Goofy Boots. Evening, boys.
appeared to be the body of a young woman. The police were called and the remains were
Yeah, there was no piano in that song. And I'm sorry, I didn't, I don't always pick the song. Like, okay, I'm just like, I throw on stuff. Been into electro swing a lot. Didn't pick a good one, I'm sorry.
recovered.
I apologize.
The woman was young, short, and slim, and had a tattoo on her
Matter?
arm reading, DR.
Does it really matter? Does the opening song matter all that much? If so, you guys can send me songs. I am open to that. You guys want to send me open songs? I'll listen to them and I'll decide whether they're good enough for the ye old Sulk stream.
A forensic analysis revealed that she had undergone a hysterectomy at some point in her life.
Background says, speaking of, how are your Jewish aides doing? They're Jewish. They're specifically Jewish.
Which might point to
I don't know, man. I don't know why they're specifically Jewish.
pregnancy complications, treatment for ovarian cancer, or even
I don't
darker,
know.
routine
Good,
treatment
I
at a
guess.
psychiatric
My
hospital.
T cell is high, and I still have most of my skin, and I'm not wasting away. I don't have that wasting away syndrome.
In 20th
So-
century America. The hysterectomy
good.
didn't have anything to do with her
Thanks.
death, however. That came about because
Okay, this is the artist rendering. So, did the artist even listen to the guy? The description. Did he even listen to the? Yeah, some black lady, and he's like, "I got you. Say no more, friend. Say no more. I got it."
of a bullet wound to the
What
head.
is she, Hutu?
Other than the surface level
I
information,
can't tell the difference between Hutus and Tutsis. But I did see Hotel Rwanda.
nothing else could be gathered to tell this young woman's story. So, using 1981 technology, the police made a crude clay model of her head, depicting
That's not 1981 technology. They made a clay model. I mean, I guess.
what she might have looked like before she passed, to see if the public might be
Background says she looks like a microphone, brown eyes, brown nose. Yeah. I mean, it would be weird if the nose was a different color. She's a black lady. She's black. And, yeah. She's a black. She's one of them blacks.
able to identify her.
Okay, I'm working it out. I see. Does she have eyes? And what color are they? Oh, that's a stupid question. Okay, what color is her hair? Well, I guess that's also kind of a stupid question. Unless she dyes it. But yeah, just standard black. Okay, so standard black, black eyes, and the nose. Whiter? Okay. Knocking it out of the park on this one. I feel like this is the easiest job. You could use this, man. You could use this same one for like 30 different dead hookers.
But nobody ever came forward. With no leads and nowhere to look, the police just stopped investigating. Life would go on the same as it did before. Nobody would ever grieve this woman. Her story would never
Background says you added that brown part to the nose, not me. Oh, damn, I did. God, that says a lot about me, doesn't it?
told, and justice would never be
Have
served.
you guys seen the Chud guy going around saying the N-word to the black people? And then a bunch of black people are like mad about it. And they're like, I'm going to kill him. And I'm like, okay. He is carrying a gun. And then a bunch of people, they're like mad about that. You just said you're going to kill him. He's just saying the N-word, which is the most, that's about as American as apple pie. Apple pie, baseball, and the N-word. That's America right there. When I think of when I do the Pledge of Allegiance, I'm thinking of three things. Those three things.
She would never even have a name,
Those three things.
only ever being referred to as the Richmond Jane Doe. And unfortunately, she's not a unique case. Currently, in the United States of America, there are more than 10,000 unidentified bodies.
That thing was not hunting a mammoth. No, it was like Neanderthals and like Proto-Europeans that were hunting mammoths. They didn't have mammoths in Africa. They just had various cats. Various cats, I imagine. Did you want to hop on now? She wants to hop on now. Okay,
I only have like 20 minutes.
you don't know that. It could be a long time. I'm going to sit here and stall.
You just don't want me on.
No, I don't. This is my show. No, get back here. Get back here. Get back here. All right, everybody. Here comes Jess. Here comes Jess, and she's gonna try to be racist now. She's not gonna be good at it like I am.
No.
I'm racist in my heart.
So, is this the video though?
This is the video, yes.
I wasn't paying attention.
Okay. Now let me show you. This
Okay.
is a computer monitor.
Oh.
This is also a computer monitor. That right there,
Mm-hmm.
that's the camera.
Hi, camera.
Please don't. I'm trying not to put my fingerprints on there.
Okay. So don't
There's
touch.
a keyboard.
Don't touch.
Hey, this is
Don't-
the donation bell. You're not going to need that. This is,
Welcome to the Sulk stream.
this is the
My name is
Waterloo.
the Incredible Sulk.
Say it. Say it.
Please donate to me.
No, not that. God, you're terrible. I don't come here beg for money. I'm not begging for money.
My wife.
That is, I don't
My
talk
wife.
about you either.
I keep her chained up in the kitchen, and when she's not
and you're
in
giving
the
them a good reason why I do it, aren't you? Good luck, honey. Good luck replacing me.
Oh, and Big B with bing 1 subscription.
You take
Thank
that
you.
shit back, Big B. You take that shit back.
Give me my bell.
Fuck no.
All right, listen for the,
If you
you
make
know,
more than
listen for real though. Listen for the baby.
okay,
All right, what do
fine.
let's just get on into it. What are we listening to?
The idea of just
Yeah.
coming across a body that never gets identified has to be one of the most disturbing concepts I can think of. In fiction, there's a common trope of an angry spirit haunting a place desperately trying to get somebody to tell their story. And these movies and books usually end with a tragic tale of their death finally being told, putting the ghosts at peace and allowing them to move on. Horror usually ends up being scarier than reality in most cases, but in this particular realm, reality is much darker than fiction. In real life, the
Oh my God, I haven't heard a thing this guy said because all I can think about is his stupid microphone. It looks like a duster. That's all I could think. I'm just like, my womanhood's coming out. It's like, man, that would dust some high places. So anyways, yeah, donate. Make Sulk mad.
The body and the person that occupied it just stays lost forever. Their only memorials are scattered disconnected case files in different law enforcement agencies. In some cases, loved ones are desperately trying to get answers, unaware that the person they're searching for has already been found. But even darker than that,
Chad says, go make her a quesadilla, John. Learn your place. And it better not be burned.
a lot of these people go unidentified because they've just been forgotten about, and the world callously moves on without them. When the Richmond Jane Doe briefly held the attention of law enforcement agencies in the early 1980s, criminal investigations mainly relied on traditional tangible evidence, like eyewitness accounts, fingerprints, and ballistics analysis, but a new movement had been gaining momentum. Instead of just looking for measurable evidence in individual cases, criminal profiling had police identifying characteristics of crimes that could point to the perpetrator's psychology in some way. This had law enforcement investigating previously overlooked aspects of crimes, like the degree of
They're like, listen, I don't want to be that guy, but I'm noticing some patterns, some dark patterns.
control used by the offender, the escalation of emotion in the act, and how organized or messy the crime scene was. Identifying these characteristics allowed police to not just categorize the sort of suspect they were looking for, but to also link different crimes together in a way they weren't previously able to using only traditional investigative techniques. But there was a problem blocking that last part from coming to fruition. Back in the early 1980s, law enforcement agencies were more or less working in isolation from one another. They all had their own specific procedures or paperwork and local files, and there usually weren't any protocols in place to share that information amongst themselves. This caused something called linkage blindness. If a serial offender committed a crime with striking signature characteristics and then went over to another county and did the same crime with the same signatures, those two cases wouldn't get linked together because the departments investigating them would be working in isolation.
That just seems retarded. Why are we not sharing information? And no, Ardent, we are a strict, gender role household, biological roles here. I do the breastfeeding. He's just going to tell me when the baby wakes up. Oh, Ardent, I don't think I'm allowed to say the N-word. Am I? John, am I allowed to? I don't know.
Even if they did share information, the documentation would be different and a lot of commonalities wouldn't be noticed because of that. This is what VICAP was intended to.
Well, okay, Tejas. To be fair, I thought it was going to be way easier, to be the level of racism John wants me to be, the level of racism he expects from me. I could just pretend to be John. Hold on. The boomers! The boomers and the boomers and the boomers. And they think that they have it bad and we have it good. But really, the boomers. Okay, hold on. I'm not done. Women are all whores. I hate women. And they're all bad. They're just all bad. Yeah, I got one, but I keep her in a cage under the bed. I pull her out when I need her. They're all bad. Sex robots. Bing! Free side thug for $5. You're gay. Okay. Honestly, I'm going to say that's to John. Oh, yeah. You guys call him gay all the time. I'm gay. Does he say he's gay? I don't really watch this show. I don't watch it much, so I don't know. Okay. So. Oh. Freeside says that impression was so good, I got confused. Should I start doing accents? You know? We do it boo. It's the boo. Yes, sir. That's like my impression of John doing an impression of someone. Was it good? And when I ask if it's good, I mean, was it bad? Yeah. Anyway. Yes, I'm gay, says Sulk. All right, let's dive into this topic.
To solve.
Oh, the Jewish accent? Hold on. I got to do it organically. If I don't do it organically, it just doesn't come out right, so.
In 1983, Los Angeles homicide detective Pierce Brooks would testify before Congress to advocate a radical new idea, a computerized database to track unsolved crimes that could be accessed by any law enforcement agency in the country. This database would be set up in such a way that the seemingly minute details of different crimes could be linked together, helping investigators make connections they wouldn't have previously been able to make.
What does my Christopher Walken sound like? And you do lots of things, like keep people together. I don't know. I don't know if I can do Christopher Walken. I might be just as bad at accents or impressions as John. I don't know.
Brooks' idea was received enthusiastically, with the FBI fully picking up and funding the project. The database will be built and stored at the FBI Academy in Quantico, Virginia in 1985, and while it may have started out with the thousands of different law enforcement agencies around the country having to mail in handwritten forms that would be digitized by hand in Quantico, the procedures would advance over time as the world became more connected, first through fax machines, and then through an interesting new technology called the Internet. In the 2000s, the FBI would launch FICAP Web, a fully
Oh, we know how much the FBI loves the internet. You know what I'm saying? They love to use the internet to puppeteer people. That's what I think. I don't know. I'm just crazy.
Internet-based version of the database that could be instantly accessed and browsed by law enforcement agencies, while FICAP Web was and is only able to be accessed by verified law enforcement.
The Violent Criminal Apprehension Program. And then we're going to make some violent criminals so we can apprehend them, so we can make this program worth it. I fucking hate the FBI. Okay. Southern black grandma who hates her grandkids impression. Child, I don't know how many times I gotta tell you to get your sorry ass out them streets. How was that? Okay. All right.
Enforcement users, the FBI would also create a much more limited but publicly accessible version of the database, which you can browse through a website hosted by the FBI. While we talk about things that are scary on this channel, there's usually two categories. Fictional horror tends to be very dramatic and solely relies on artistic elements like aesthetics and storytelling to create fear. It's by design calculated in its delivery. Real life horror, on the other hand, is never calculated. It's not art designed to strike fear in you, yet it always does a much better job of that than fiction. The FBI's VICAP site is a perfect example of that second category. It's just a cold list of unsolved crimes presented in a manner only meant to convey information in an efficient way and nothing more, but it still manages to be one of the most disturbing sites I've ever seen. Here you'll find the Richmond Jane Doe, as well as many other unidentified deceased people. The visual depictions of these individuals.
That's like every black person ever. I mean, how are we supposed to? How are we supposed to know? How are we supposed to know? Do an impression of a SNAP recipient. Okay. How am I supposed to feed my kids? Okay? You want me to get out there and get a gerb? I can't go get a gerb. I got like 3 baby daddies that don't pay shit. I don't know. There we go.
Range from actual photos, to digital recreations, to physical recreations, to drawings, to even just articles of clothing in cases where the body is in such bad shape that clothes are the only remaining identifying traits. This entry is particularly unsettling. The only lead investigators have in this case is a single shoe. The remains were in such bad shape that even the victim's sex couldn't be determined. Like the vast majority of cases.
That's a male shoe. It's a male shoe. There, I solved it. It's a guy. I solved it. I should be a part of the FBI. In Los Tejas, I know that you're just fucking with him right now. Okay? I'm not gonna fall for it. Your little silver tongue. Your silver typies. Okay?
Cases here, this one remains unsolved. I find it interesting how VICAP sits beside the FBI's top 10 most wanted lists on their website, as these two pages feel like yin and yang. The top 10 most wanted are a list of perpetrators of crime they're actively trying to catch. Or in other words, stories they're trying to put resolutions to. VICAP is a list of
Sulk, this show is just as beautiful as when you do it. Okay? 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 If you want to get back in here and do your gerb and don't let the women take your gerb, then get back in here. Okay? And all you in the chat can start donating. All right?
victims of crime they're trying to identify, or rather, resolutions they're trying to put stories to. The two sites feel like binary opposites. Another thing you'll notice on VICAP is how unsettling a lot of these photos look, even completely separated from their chilling contexts. These reconstructions often fall into the uncanny valley, with the people they're depicting looking almost real but not quite, leaving any viewer unsettled.
Why don't they have just AI revamp all this? It'd probably make it look a little less creepy, more realistic, right? BB Trucker. Okay, listen, when John did that handstand, it was so impressive. I can't get it out of my head. The strength that it took to do that handstand. That was a lot of work. Okay? So, don't disrespect the handstand.
A lot of these depictions look not unlike something you would see in some online horror project, but not everything creepy looking here is a reconstruction. On June 3rd, 1991, truck driver Eduardo Collin pulled into a Super 8 motel off of I-40 in Albuquerque, New Mexico. He rented a room for 2 people for just one night.
Wait. I'm trying to watch this shit so I know what's happening, but I'm looking at chat. BB, really? No one asked him for it? So he just did a display of strength for you guys, and you're not being appreciative of that? That's psychotic. Okay? You're welcome for his handstand. It's a beautiful handstand, honey. Okay.
But the following morning, Eduardo never came to check out. After waiting an entire day, the motel eventually sent a security guard to check on Eduardo's room on June 5th. It had been locked from the inside, and the guard had to essentially break in using a screwdriver. When he finally got in, there was no one to be found in the main part of the room, just scattered bottles of alcohol. The bathroom was a different story.
Let's be fair. If we are going into a locked Motel 8 room, we're not going to find anything good. We're not going to find anything good. Like, just be prepared to not find anything good, okay? The best thing we can find is a dead hooker. That's what this guy's hoping for. This guy's... yeah.
Story though. In there, the security guard found a woman suspended in the air, hanging from a suitcase strap tied to the shower. She was dead. Investigators would determine her cause of death to be hanging, which was found to be self-inflicted, and had occurred on June 3rd, the night the room was rented. Even though she had only been deceased for 2 days, the shower had been running the entire time, and the extreme amount of moisture combined with the sweltering New Mexico heat greatly advanced the decay process, and her body was already in a state of putrefaction.
No one was like, hey, the water pressure's really bad right now. Like, what? This guy in the room next to me keeps running the water constantly. Nobody. Oh, yeah, it's a Motel 8, and they're all doing nefarious things. Like, if I wanted to have horrible customers and just, like, bad drug dealings going on and, like, hooers and, like, I would open up a Motel 8. That's what I would do. That's if I wanted to be a part of it, I would open up a Motel 8.
Putrefaction when she was found. She had heroin in her system, and judging by the fact police found a scale in the room, drugs may have played a part in this tragedy. Many questions hung in the air about
The drugs in her system. Yeah, because people that do heroin typically have really good judgment.
this case.
Right, Virgie?
The most immediate of which being Eduardo's whereabouts. He was nowhere to be found. The license plate he had given to the hotel staff had been fraudulent. The front desk employee who had been working the night of June 3rd was able to give a physical description of Eduardo, which happened to fit a picture found in his room. This is a photo of the deceased woman while she was still alive. It appears to have been taken at one of those mall photo booths.
I feel like if I look at it, I'm gonna be visited by her ghost. So I'm just gonna like skip past this part and not look at it. See, I'm not good for these kinds of things because ever since I became a mother, I'm just so soft. I thought I was gonna be making fun of black people.
And the police assumed that the other man in the photo was Eduardo. No one had seen this woman while she was still alive. She had no identifying marks on her body, and she didn't have any sort of ID on her. The only record of her ever having been alive in the first place was this eerie photo of her and this mystery man. Years would go by without any progress in this case. The effort
Despite says, you trust her alone with your children, but not your show. Yeah, you know, he doesn't care about his children as much as the show. I mean, it's like right there. It's right there. And then I'm like somewhere like right around here. So, you know, that's just how the cookie crumbles. So, you know, we all have a place in the world, and it's better that we accept the place that we are in the world.
would mainly be focused around finding Eduardo. Eventually, the police would manage to track down his immediate family, who let investigators know that Eduardo had passed away from natural causes while they were looking for him. When police asked family members if they had recognized the woman in this photo with Eduardo, they only reacted with confusion. The man in the picture was not Eduardo. Again, no progress would be made for an enormous amount of time, until 2021.
I'm sorry, but how shitty would it be to be like a dead person and like your legacy is being on this shitty FBI website with this picture? Hold on. I'm in the way. Hold on.
When
Let's see if we
investigators
can cut
actually
it.
managed to somehow track down the man in this photo, while his identity has never been
That's your legacy. And heroin in a Motel 8. Oh, that's not great. Put this back.
released publicly, the police are not considering him a suspect in any possible crime. He also wasn't able to fully identify the woman, only telling police that she had come to Albuquerque from Los Angeles, that he only knew her as Becca. The initial and most common theory regarding this mystery is that Becca may have been a lady of the night, also found in the room where 5
Well, yeah, because any good woman's going to be like, yeah, let's stay at the Motel 8. Do heroin.
$100 bills, an oddly large denomination of money to be carrying around with you, especially in 1991. It would explain why she was with a truck driver at a motel and why she didn't have any ID. The police have also supposedly recovered more pictures of Becca while she was alive, but haven't
See, this looks like the AI filter. That looks better.
released them publicly because of their supposedly explicit nature. Whether Becca was an escort or not ultimately doesn't matter. Investigators assume she was, and her case likely didn't get the attention it needed
Yeah, Becca's an escort because what good white woman wants to be with a bunch of Mexicans?
because of that. If Eduardo had been located before his own death years later, this case would have been solved more than 20 years ago. But he wasn't, so it just remains as one of the many eerie entries in VICAP. If you're interested in helping on this case, I really recommend checking out the Becca Doe subreddit, which was set up with the specific purpose of investigating this case. And you can also check out the Grateful Doe subreddit, which is intended for all unidentified people cases.
This is how you know Reddit is just a trash site. Who the fuck cares about some hoe who was jacked up on heroin in a Motel 8? Honestly, there's missing children. Ooh, I bet you there's no subreddit for missing children.
Believe it or not, internet sleuths are not just good for finding lost media. Grateful Doe has actually directly linked a couple unidentified people to missing persons cases, and I'm sure they would appreciate your help. One thing I find interesting on VICAP is how the visual reconstructions vary in look depending on when the case was open. Nowadays, detailed digital artistic recreations seem to be the standard, and while these sometimes can look uncanny, they really don't compare to the clay reconstructions you'll see in older cases. Some of these are genuinely nightmare fuel.
That's so funny though. They were trying. See, I'm not as good conversation as John is, y'all, so I bet you're stuck with me. Just like John.
They're made to resemble the victims as much as possible, but at the end of the day, they all still seem to end up looking somewhere in between life and death. I mentioned the Uncanny Valley earlier. One theory as to the origin of why the Uncanny Valley effect exists in the first place is fear of corpses. Humans may have an instinctual fear of dead bodies to keep us away from diseases that may harm us, and in my opinion, these unsettling clay models perfectly trigger that instinct. It would also seem, based on whatever on this site, that the worse condition a body is found in, the more uncanny the clay model looks. In May 1992, a farmer in Boone County, Indiana, was working his fields just like any other day. As he worked his way to the edge of his property near the main road, he noticed something laying in the long reeds in the distance. He had a bad feeling and decided to not approach whatever was in front of him, and
Yeah, same, bro. I'd be like, let's go home. I don't want to know. Someone else will find. The farmer is going to be here in the morning. I don't want to deal with it. That's what I would just, nope. This is why I would survive the horror film, because I just wouldn't engage. I'd be like, nope, roll credits. That's it.
instead went back home to contact the police. When law enforcement came, they walked down from the road into the reeds, and there they found the decayed body of a young woman. She wasn't wearing any clothes other than a tank top, and didn't have any noticeable wounds on her body that could point to an immediate cause of death. Her face was so badly decomposed that she was completely unrecognizable. The only distinguishable characteristics on her body were two tattoos, one that said, "Mom," and another that said, "Love."
And look at you, dead in a field. Your mom would be so disappointed in you.
Investigators guessed that she was likely between the ages of 17 and 24, but other than that, there was no way to identify this woman, and she would be entered into the system as just one more Jane Doe. Without anything to go on, police would start combing through missing persons files in the local area to see if they could find any leads, but none were found. They started investigating nearby truck stops. Maybe this was another case that began with a trucker picking up an escort. After questioning countless workers and passing out flyers to the many people passing through these truck stops though,
They're like, all right, fellas, fess up. Who did it? Was it you? Was it you, Big B? Was it you this time? Did you leave that girl in a field? Decomposed face? It was you, wasn't it?
no leads were found. After a few weeks of investigation, the case was considered to be cold, and the woman would be given a pauper's grave next to the police station, with an eerie tombstone only reading, "Unidentified female." A year
Ooh.
later, police would reach out to a professor at Michigan State University who had been making advancements in facial
Why put that at all? Why put that? Why put anything? Why put anything? I mean, you can mark it, maybe put a little cross. But why put unidentified female? Seems like a waste of taxpayers' money, right? Like, let me carve. You know, guys, do you guys know how much tombstones are? They're expensive. So our taxpayers are the town's They paid for that lady's tombstone to say the guy had to carve it into the tombstone, unidentified. It's like per letter. That's a waste of money.
reconstructions. They exhumed the victim's body, which at this point was nothing more than a skeleton. Nevertheless, the professor did his best to recreate what Jane Doe may have looked like before her untimely death.
Okay. Onias, I don't know why I'm hosting today. I'm just here. John's going to like this. I do what I'm told as a wife. Mostly. So, here I am. Donate, people. Come on. Let's make him feel uncomfortable with all the donations. Okay.
I looked through every entry on VICAP, and this was by far the most unsettling facial reconstruction I came across. I get that they likely didn't have much information to go on with the extremely poor condition of her head when they found her body, and they were just doing the best they could in what was at the time a still primitive field of forensic science, but I can't help but feeling a little unnerved every time I see this photo. The police would place this model in their lobby to see if anybody who passed through it may have any information.
Honestly, I hate when people do this. I hate when, like, people that make videos and shit, I hate when they're like, this made me feel so uncomfortable. Nothing ever has made me feel more uncomfortable than this. It's like, shut up. You're trying to make me feel uncomfortable by how uncomfortable you're saying that you are. You're really that uncomfortable by this. It's not that uncomfortable. Look at it. Look at it. It's not that uncomfortable.
But nobody ever did. In 2018, they would use more modernized techniques to make a couple much less unsettling looking facial reconstructions, but these still didn't lead to any new developments. It would seem like the Boone County Jane Doe.
Eee! Goofy Boots, thank you for classing up the place a bit. Oh my goodness. Well, $5 or $10. Oh my goodness. Another one. Whee! That really is satisfying. I'm not gonna lie. When I hear his little bell go, when I'm just like in the house, I'm like, oh, yay, go Sulk. So it is fun to ring it. It's really fun to ring it. Yeah. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm the peasant in this relationship. I'm the wee little peasant girl that took John and showed him love. So he's classier than I am. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. I'm just
Was just one in an endless line of unidentified corpses found in the USA who would never get their story told. But in 2020, that would change. You see, when they exhumed her body in 1993, police had luckily made sure to extract some of Jane Doe's DNA. And 27 years later, they sent it to a forensic genealogy firm for examination. And just over 1 year later, a match was found. In 1992, the Shinagovsky family in Toledo, Ohio were dismayed when their youngest daughter Maggie had seemingly vanished into thin air. While alarmed, they weren't entirely panicked. Margaret was about to turn 18, and all 7 of her older siblings had left home in a similarly swift manner around the same age. So why wouldn't she do the same? As time went on, they heard nothing from her though. The Shinagovskys' concern grew. They found that she had taken nothing from her room, which was messy and didn't look like how someone would leave their space before moving out. Maybe she hadn't just left home to start her life. Maybe something happened to her. Her siblings would drive around looking for her, but would come up empty-handed. It's unclear whether they filed a missing persons report or not, but for the next 28 years, Maggie's family had no idea if she was off living her life somewhere or if something horrible had happened to her. But in 2020, their worst fears were realized.
They must be shit parents, honestly. Because if you're not a shit parent, your kid's gonna check in with you. So if they really thought that, oh, she's just off living her life for these 28 years, and she couldn't quite possibly be dead. Mom and Dad, she's dead. You're shit parents. Shit parents. They knew she was dead. Oh, looky here. I don't know how to say your name. Enpumas. I don't know. Congrats on the sex change, Sulk. You really got the feminine look down. $5. Thank you. So listen, if John were to transition, which we all know, I would make sure he looks great. But thank you. Yeah, word on the street is I am trans. That's the word on the street, which is really funny, I think. Anyway, BB says my wife's tarted too. She's a pilot. Why are you letting her fly planes? Why are you letting her? You're endangering others. Screw her. You're just endangering other people. Yeah. Anyway. Arden says, I'm going to switch to my favorite episode of True Crimes next. I actually do not watch true crime stuff. I don't. I'm not like one of those girls. I'm not like other girls. I'm different. No, but I really don't. I don't really watch true crime stuff. Like I like to listen to like scary stories, but it doesn't have to be like a true crime scary story. Yeah. Am I missing out on something? Because I read like that, like recently, like women that listen to that stuff are just like unhinged. So should I become more unhinged? Is that what I need to do? Become unhinged?
Margaret had met an untimely end, likely before her family even began looking for her. As tragic as the situation is, it is nice to see such stale cold cases still getting attention and even being solved almost
And Pumesis. Okay. There.
30 years later. Although you can't really say this one is fully solved, police are treating Maggie's case as a homicide, and they're still looking for information that could lead them to whoever committed this horrible crime. Not every case gets solved because of cutting-edge forensic techniques.
Okay.
Sometimes they get solved because of ICAP. You might be wondering why the FBI decided to make a public version of this program. Well, that's because public interest has been a key part in getting these cases solved, and VICAP is a great way to publicize these mysteries. Our next case, though, believe it or not, was solved in no small part because of Reddit. It's June 26, 1996. Along US Route 58 in rural Virginia, the cars unrelentingly rocket by, each one passing through this liminal space without ever giving it a second thought. A highway is never a destination, it's only a means to get to one. For the occupants of a certain Volkswagen bus, however, this normally transient area would be where their stories would meet an abrupt end. Greensville County Police were called out to a train line outside the expressway, where they found a van which had crashed head-on into the trees after seemingly veering off the road. Inside it were two young men. They were not wearing their seatbelts. The high-speed collision had taken their lives. The driver was quickly identified as 21-year-old Michael Hager from South Carolina, and police believe the crash likely occurred because he had fallen asleep while driving, as there were no drugs or alcohol in his system. The other man in the car, though, was not carrying any ID, and on top of that, his face had been severely disfigured in the crash, making visual identification next to impossible. Police contacted Hager's family to tell them the bad news, and to also ask if Michael had been traveling with a friend.
Your son and his gay lover are dead. They're dead. They're dead. Woo! Ric Flair's hair. Whoa, Sulk got hot. Nice. Ha ha ha. Take that, Sulk. Ha ha ha.
They said he wasn't, and they also didn't recognize his passenger. A theory developed that this man may have been a hitchhiker that Hager had picked up somewhere along his journey, possibly because of a shared interest.
The shared interest of liking butt.
The mystery man had been wearing a tie-dyed shirt when investigators found him, and they also found 2 ticket stubs for a Grateful Dead concert that had occurred 2 nights prior.
Arden says, I think this is the first time we're actually watching the video. I feel funny. Yeah, I can rant about certain things. I have my niche subjects, topics. But I'm not like John that just like can take the anger from deep. I'm not angry either. I think that's part of the problem. I'm not an angry person like John. So like I can't take grasping that anger is really difficult. Even like things that do make me angry, I usually just don't let it bother me too much because it's so much energy to be angry. So I don't have the anger John has. I'm so sorry to disappoint you all. I know I was supposed to come here and be super angry, and I'm failing. I'm failing. So sorry.
Hager had not attended the concert, but he was a Grateful Dead fan. It's possible the reason he stopped to pick up a random hitchhiker was because they were both Deadheads, members of a counterculture movement revolving around the Grateful Dead. Also found on the man's body was a handwritten note. It read,
To Jason.
Sorry that we had to be so gay together, and your parents are probably super religious, so we can't be gay together. Let's die in a car crash. Love you, babe.
Sorry we had to go. See you around. Call me. Carolyn O. and Carolyn T.
At the end of the note was a phone number that was unfortunately incomplete, making it impossible for investigators to follow up on, but it did give them one important clue. This man's name might be Jason. Unfortunately, this was the extent of the leads police had to work with at the time, and the case almost immediately went cold. Yet another eerie claim mock-up would be made along with the police sketch, and investigators would ask for the public's help in identifying who.
Ew. See, that guy is like the like typical gross dude at like you'd expect to see at a festival that like is like, yeah, man, I smoke weed every day and I'm so insightful because of it. But really I just have low T and I don't have a job, man. And I hate my mom and dad. That's that guy. That's that guy right there. Yep. Oh, and he stinks. Ugh.
Who this man may be, but nothing would happen for another 17 years. In 2012, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children will make a better.
Okay, yeah, I do have a black eye. I do have a black eye. I did put some makeup on. Actually, like, usually when, like, I do. You can kind of see it right there. Yeah, I have a black eye because because Jonathan, I got out of line and I got what I deserved. I shouldn't have spoken up like that and I did and really it's not even his fault. I mean, I fell. I bonked my head. I was opening a cabinet and I bonked my head. I tripped down the stairs. Yeah. Ben, for $5, I hope your black eye heals. Thank you, Ben.
A more modern reconstruction of Jason's likeness, and the public would once again be asked for help. A subreddit would be created called Grateful Doe, which I already mentioned. Internet sleuths here would tirelessly search social media looking for matches. Eventually in 2015, some photos greatly resembling the reconstruction would be found. They were posted by the former roommate of the man in these pictures, who said his name was Jason. Unfortunately, the roommate couldn't remember his last name, but this was still an extreme.
This guy is so forgettable. This is what I'm saying. This guy's an NPC. He's so forgettable. His own roommate doesn't even know his last name or can't remember his last name. That's bad. Like, people, if you have a roommate right now, go tell them your last name. Or go find out your roommate's last name. Please. Please. It's okay to be Christian says, learn your lesson and it will heal faster. Yes, you are right. And that's what Sulk told me when he helped pick me up off the floor. And after the lesson. After the lesson.
Extremely promising lead. The roommate goes on to describe Jason as a laid-back teenager who was into surfing and the Grateful Dead. He had a lot of close friends, but sometime in 1995, he would just vanish.
Big B says, my wife should know my name. She's my roommate, but go check. And if she doesn't, give her the old sulk. You know what I'm saying? The old sulk.
Without a trace. Mainstream news would start reporting on the story, and Jason's mock-ups and pictures would be shared far and wide on pretty much every social media site. And soon enough, a breakthrough.
He's the Grateful Doe. He's grateful dough. He's a grateful dough. Oh my gosh. Who cares? Some Grateful Dead fan. Okay. Lord, forgive me for being this terrible person. I'm just. Oh, I messed up, you guys. Hold on. Let me get back. All right, here we go. There's the guy. There's the missing thing. We're getting there. Grateful Doe. Grateful Doe. Grateful Doe. Okay, I see the words Grateful Doe.
Extremely promising lead. The roommate goes on to describe Jason as a laid-back teenager who was into surfing and the Grateful Dead. He had a lot of close friends, but sometime in 1995, he would just vanish without a trace. Mainstream news would start reporting on the story, and Jason's mock-ups and pictures would be shared far and wide on pretty much every social media site. And soon enough, a breakthrough would be made. Jason's last name was Callahan, and when he had turned 18 in 1995, he decided to leave his hometown of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina to explore the country on his own. Eventually, he stopped contacting his mother, who had assumed that he had just started a life somewhere. He had come from.
I'm sorry. As a mom, I just can't wrap my head around being like, I guess they're gone for good. I guess they're gone. They're gone. They're starting their life somewhere. They're just out there. Just out. How can you not like file something, a missing persons report, something, please? Like, how do these parents just not care? I don't even know. So good, we're talking about abusing our wives in the chat. Okay. So everyone's bonding. It's great. You guys are such a fraternity.
From a broken family, and it's not that unusual for children of divorce to estrange themselves from their parents. Unfortunately, though, this wasn't the case for Jason Callahan, as his life was put to an end before it could really even begin. Like we talked about earlier, the Grateful Doe subreddit would be used after Jason's case was solved to help out with other cases of unidentified bodies. One of them.
Freeside says, well, no more kid, I guess. I hope he's having fun. Glug, 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 glug. Because you know that she's an alcoholic. For sure. Definite wine mommy vibes. And now, at her little wine nights with her friends, she can talk about her dead son. Oh, and get some pity and attention.
Being our final case for today. In October 1995, in the sleepy town of Brewster in New York State, the body of a middle-aged man would be found in the woods outside an abandoned schoolhouse. The police would be called out to.
Goofy says this isn't a fraternity, it's a cult. You're right. And it's a sex cult. I mean, it's not a sex cult. It's not a sex cult. Not at all. A domestic union. Oh, John, that's the gayest thing you've ever said. I'm sorry. I don't want to disrespect you on your own stream, but I'll take the lashing later for that one.
Investigate and quickly found evidence that this man had put an end to his life by his own hand. He had no identification on his body, but despite this, his face was still in perfect condition. You'll notice that this is the first case we've talked about today where the victim's face hasn't been disfigured in some way. This is rare. Usually a big reason why people can't be identified is because nobody knows what they might have looked like before they passed on. Investigators would have a much easier time making an accurate reconstruction.
And I know we're all wishing he was disfigured, but he wasn't. Dreams don't come true.
In this case. And even more than that, this man has a very recognizable face. Surely someone would be able to recognize him, right? Well, someone did. 2 days prior to his body being found, a worker at a curtain shop had sold 2 expensive blankets to this man in the nearby town of New Rochelle. He was then seen taking the train to Brewster on the Metro North Railroad. Unfortunately though, these witnesses couldn't give any clues to this man's identity, and they were the only ones who ever came forward. Despite an extensive investigation and having a very accurate looking facial reconstruction, this John Doe has never been identified. The police have made numerous public appeals, the latest being a VICAP alert sent out in 2020, but no accurate leads have been found since the 90s. The main theory I've seen regarding this case is that this man possibly traveled from New York City to a small out-of-the-way place in a less populated area of the region to end his life, and purposely threw away his ID so he would never be identified. New Russia
Oh man, his dying wish was like, I don't want anyone to know who I am. And then the FBI is like, too bad. We're gonna tell everyone you killed yourself, you fucking loser. You stupid little bitch. That's so cute.
Shell is on the way from NYC to Brewster, and the man is also considered to be of Latin American descent, with New York City having the state's most significant population of Hispanic people. The idea of traveling to an out-of-the-way place to put an end to your existence with the intention of never being found is not just terrifying, it's also tragic. Everything you've ever done, every other life you've ever touched,
No, it's a bitch move. Killing yourself is a fucking bitch move. Do not kill yourself, ever. Like, never. Never kill yourself. It's like, if you kill yourself, I'm not gonna feel bad for you, okay? I'm gonna think you're a fucking bitch-ass motherfucker. That's what I'm gonna think. I'm gonna think, you know what? I'm glad you did it, because you're worthless. Okay. For $10, despite. John always loves when I send in funny videos. He always plays the whole thing and doesn't cut off the punchline. I hope you enjoy. Disregard that dono, Jess, you dick. I'm sorry, I have to do what I'm told, but thanks for the 10. Wait, come help me set this up. Come on, this is the fairy stream. Oh yeah, follow me on Femoid Fairy, or on Twitter at Femoid Fairy. That's me, Jess, your cult mama. Okay, but I'll play the video, but I need help! Please? Oh, great ruler, we come to enjoy you. Please help your wife put on the video. Okay? Okay. Anyways. John always cuts off the punchline. I will try my best to cut off the punchline so you guys don't feel like your routine is taken away from you. I know you guys are very autistic, so I don't want to ruin that for you guys. I'll try my best. I promise. But how do I make it go back to the other one?
It's a tab, honey. You just press that tab. You see?
This tab?
That tab right there. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. There's a billion tabs, you guys, because he has ADHD, and it is just manifesting on his computer.
I'm not gonna stop you.
So
You're doing great. So I'm the loving and supportive husband.
yeah. I'm sorry. Please listen out for the baby.
He's sleeping fine.
All right, good.
Come on, Dudley.
You guys, I just want you guys to know, this is usually my like snack time, chill time. But I'm gonna get punched in the face, abuse, if I don't do this. So here we are. Okay, here we go.
Just check the West Hall. No sign of anyone.
False alarm. Sector 12 is clear. On my way back.
This is 6. I need you to unlock the West Hall gate. Everything's going according to...
Oh my god.
Whoa, what the heck?
Doug,
Are you okay?
where are your clothes?
Somebody tried to knock me out.
What?
I think they took them off my body.
Holy shit.
Tyler, get the guns.
Oh man, do you think it's because they needed clothes bad, or like to wear as for a disguise?
Yeah, I think he's gonna put them on to pretend like he's me or pretend like he works here.
Dang, it's just like Hitman. No, take the 50 cal. It's bigger here.
Thanks. I'm just wondering why he took your clothes. You're like the smallest guy here.
It's okay.
Oh, that I should have. Sorry. Sorry. I should have cut it off.
Okay, I'm secure about my size. I'm just glad he let me keep my pants.
Dang, he probably brought his own pants. This guy's a pro. Is it a flamethrower?
Well, assuming he makes the outfit work, we still know exactly what our faces look like. I mean, we've worked at this weapons manufacturing facility for years.
Designate target.
What if he has a face printer?
What?
Like a Mission Impossible face printer that prints out faces.
What?
I think it's fine that movie's not real.
Okay, but the stunts are real. Tom Cruise does all the stunts, and he's like 60.
Wow. Have you seen Top Gun?
Can we talk about our favorite movies later? I just realized I lost my daughter's ballet shoes.
Check under that snake launcher.
Nothing here. Maybe you dropped them when he grabbed you.
I don't know, but we can ask that son of a bitch when we find him. Right before we kill him. Come on, guys.
All right, so then we're gonna move on and
From wild breakdowns after trades
what
go
is this?
south
This was not the video
to
I was
losing
watching.
your college savings in one trade.
My balance.
This wasn't the video. I pushed the button. I pushed it. Here it is. Okay, it was over one more. Okay.
The entire story gets boiled down and reduced to a physical thing, a corpse without a name.
Yeah.
The VICAP site to me is not just the most chilling site the FBI has, it's probably the most unsettling site I've visited, period. Becoming unidentified is a very certain kind of terror, and I can't.
I'm sorry. I don't know the rules. Okay? Okay? Just take that out. Take that last bit out. Despite this is all your fault. You set me up for failure, and now I'm going to make you pay. Just kidding, Ardent. $10. John is in this clip. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Copy link. Copy link. We're going to go to this one. We're going to just delete that. See, I can stream. Shut up. I'm doing it.
Can you do it?
I got it.
And so I cry sometimes when I'm lying in bed just to get it all out what's in my head. And I feel peculiar.
Okay, but listen, if I had bangs, me and this guy, we would look just alike. Just saying.
And so I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and get real high. And I feel the top of my lungs. What's going on? And I say, hey.
Okay, to be fair, yes, I am not technically savvy, but you know what? I have a good time anyway. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. Hey, okay, I saw Nips in the chat. Listen, $50. $50 dono and you get Nips.
All the time in this institution. And he prays. Oh my God, do I pray? I pray every single day. And I say, hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, yeah. I say, what's going on? And I say, don't, yeah. Just keep it inside. Learn how to hide
Correct, Goofy.
your feelings.
That's like John right now. This is John in the kitchen while I'm in here. Oh, and look who came to see his mama. He loves me. He's my kitty. He's my boy. He's a good boy.
What's going on? Oh, yeah!
All right. Yes. Don't pay. Yeah, John flashes for $5. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna start putting a little bit heftier of a price on my husband's nipples, you guys. Cause yeah, obviously I'm not gonna show you guys my nipples, you fucking perverts. You fucking perverts. You weird perverts. I'm not gonna do that. What? You guys are silly if you thought for a second I would show my nipples. You guys are just silly. Silly little bitches. I mean, bastards, you're men, so I think bastards is like the masculine bitch.
Can't imagine the state of mind somebody would be in to purposely choose that as their exit. It goes without saying, but if you happen to recognize any of the 3 stolen solved John and Jane Does we talked about today, please make a post on the Grateful Doe subreddit. They know how to get in touch with investigators. I'll also restate something I said earlier. If you're into solving internet mysteries and looking for lost media,
yeah, Onias, it is a sexy cult, okay? But I am like the cult mama. I am not here to be the sexy one. I'm business, okay? And John's right. These are business nipples, okay? They're for breastfeeding pretty much exclusively. So, yeah. All right. We have an hour left. How are we supposed to do more? The video's over. I can't do any more. I don't know what you want me to do at this point. Help! And yeah, obviously, like, okay, who thought, even for a second, even for just like a split second, who thought I would really show my nips? I want to know. They're called utilititties, Cheddar. Okay, utilititties. Utilititties. You get it? Okay. Okay. Just pick something. Okay. The Wacky World of Bath Salt Crimes. That only has like 4 minutes. Let me see. Stream your own game. Xbox Cloud Gaming. Okay, that's not going to work. It's not going to work. What are we doing? Anyway. See, John could take a 30-minute video and stop it enough times to and go on enough rants to take up 2 hours. I cannot. I'm curious about what the video is about. Also, again, I am not as angry. So should I send Sulk back in, you guys? So, yeah. I think so. Well, that's the Sulk stream, and I hope you guys take care of yourselves, and this is my John impression, and I hope you guys take care of yourself and drink enough water, because I care about you too. That would be my sign-off if I were John. Just talk about the boomers. Well, the boomers, let me tell ya, so they are my arch nemesis. I never have hated anybody more than the boomers. No. The OnlyFans whores are like right here. Boomers are up here, okay? So they all have done me a disservice. Stop laughing. What are you coming in here for and looking at me? You're ruining my show. You always ruin my show. Anyway. I hate interracial couples. When I see a little mulatto kid in public, man, it just makes my blood boil. That's John. Finish your video, please. Okay, hold on. Let me see. All right, hold on. I lost it. What do you want from me? I really wish you guys could see how many fucking tabs. Hold on, I'll take a picture and then I'll show you. Okay. All right, hold on. I'm going to do this thing where we're going to... Hold on. My phone screen's dirty. Still dirty. Okay. Still dirty. What is that? What could that possibly be? Oh. I was staining. I have it on my arm too. I was staining a picnic table earlier. I got some on my phone. That's what that is. Hold on. It's okay. We'll look stain and all. It's really crazy actually how many tabs he has open. I don't know how he functions with so many tabs open. Look at this. You guys see that? It's endless tabs. Endless tabs. Endless. Hi, Jess. Finally, it's not such a sausage fest in here. Ugh. Now we got some onions and some peppers going, you know? We'll make some brats. Okay. Oh, yeah, those are bruises. Sorry. Okay, copy link. I know how to copy links. I know how to paste. Look at that. Okay? We all have our strengths. And mine's not technology or screaming about the fucking boomers. Now, if you guys want to send me something about trannies, if you guys want to talk about mom Twitter, if you guys want to talk about, you know, birth, I could just spur the fuck out on that. But I'm not your cup of tea, guys. I'm not what you guys want to watch. All right, let's see. Okay, we were around ballerina slippers. There we go. All right. I'll try to pause it so we don't get copyright strikes. Like,
Hey!
oh, I can't say the T tranny. I said like training. That's what I said. I didn't say TRANNY. I said training. That's what I said. Don't mix up what I've said, YouTube.
New guy, put some pants on and help us find the intruder. He could be anywhere, so stay on your toes. Okay, good work. Keep it up.
Okay, after this, let's go watch Top Gun.
Or Mission Impossible.
Okay. Sulk, I was saying training. I just kind of say things funny sometimes. That's it. I just say things funny, okay? If you guys want to talk about the I talk about training all day.
Maybe.
Wait. I Googled it. Tom Cruise is 61.
Wow.
Okay. So, yeah. And if I did say the word tranny, I'm talking about the tranny of a car, okay? It's because I know a lot about cars. If there's one thing about me, I know a lot about cars, okay? You guys might not look at me and think, oh, she knows about cars, but listen to this. Ford, Chevy, Subaru, Mercedes. That's all I got. See? How many girls do you know that can say that much? So, okay. Okay. The cars. Yep. All right, let's find something to watch because, you know, I really don't know what I'm doing, you guys. I'm just getting John in trouble with YouTube. Sulk, I told you not to talk about my Ukrainian background, okay? We're not supposed to discuss it. Okay? Fucking idiot. Okay. There's really nothing. Ah! I'm so sorry. I didn't like that either. I hated it. I hated that moment. But I love all these AI things. John, can you just come in here, please, and take over? Okay. Oh, Knobs. You know. Yeah, John, will you just come in here? Yeah, Knobs. I can do accents sometimes. John can do them poorly all the time. And it's adorable. We love him for it. I love it. I just honestly I find when he does accents so endearing. Yeah. No, I don't know what to do. What do you want me to do? I'm just sitting here. You know what? I lied on Twitter because I told him I would be on this show, and I was like, to try to bait some people, I was like, I'm going to be talking about mom Twitter because I figured it would make some people a little nervous. But I didn't come on here with anything to talk about, or really. I mean, unless you guys want to talk about car trannies, we could do that. Goofy, no. I'm not saying Goofy says, so you're telling us that he keeps the talent off camera. No, I'm not saying he's good at the accents. I'm saying that I enjoy that he's so bad at them. It's endearing. It's precious. I love him. I love it. Okay? It's adorable. It's like watching your wife try to stream. Okay? It's so cute. Pull up Twitter, see what pisses you off. No, so the thing, okay, so with Twitter, there's always something that the women on Twitter are upset about. Always. There's always something. And sometimes they'll like cycle through like what they were upset about like a few months ago. And it's exhausting. It's like, you guys, stop. Just shut the fuck up. Just shut up. Say what you want. Don't fight with each other. So stupid. Fur baby funnies. What's fur baby funnies? What's fur? Okay, I'm gonna do what John sent first, because he's the man. And you're just a cult member.
Despite the fat positivity movement claiming to simply want to remove the stigma around being fat, the truth is a lot darker. And it is a world filled with hypocrites, gaslighting, victim mentality,
Okay. You guys, hold on, though. Hold on. So this one in particular, okay. So right when the fat positivity thing started popping off, I happened to like see her shit on Instagram. She is a problem. Like, let me tell you, she not only like enjoys making herself fat, but she also likes the negative attention that she gets, and at the same time, so the victimhood of being fat. Can't stand this fat bitch.
Victim mentality, and so much worse. In the name of political correctness, we are not only allowing but pushing people to eat themselves to morbid obesity, which is exactly what these fat positive.
Honestly, let them eat themselves to death. I don't care. Let them do it, but do not take money out of my taxes to feed these people. Do not give them disability. Like, don't do that. I don't want to deal with that. Like, these people live like lush lifestyles, aka eating themselves stupid, on our dime. You guys realize that? Majority of like those morbidly obese people have some sort of disability, get benefits and shit like that. They don't work. Very rarely do they work. The only ones that actually work are the ones that are fucking doing like feeder porn shit. Because that's such a high market. Like, you men are disgusting.
Influencers want. I've covered more than my fair share of these fat positive influencers, and to be honest, I am sick of seeing their deluded views. So, in this video, we're looking at everything wrong with the fat activism movement. And to get a
I'll tell you what, they'll be like, I am beautiful at no matter what size I am. I'm more secure this big than. No, you are not. Because if a skinny woman walks past you, you'll have something to say. You'll feel insecure. You'll say that, oh, she's eating a salad, so she must be fat shaming me. That's what these people, they're fucking delusional.
Real idea of where fat positivity came from, we have to go back to the roots and see if it did in fact start out with a positive. We have to go back to 1968, which is the birth year of fat activism. A man named Bill Fabry founded the first ever fat positive protest in New York after he was, quote, tired of the way the world was treating his fat wife. And he was not
What a simp. You know what you do with your fat wife? You punch her in the face and you take away her food and you let her starve a little bit and then she's cute again and then you don't punch her in the face anymore because she's cute and just keep an eye on the calories.
not alone, with a man called Lou Lauderbeck releasing an article around that time titled More People Should Be Fat, which described many instances of fat discrimination. A few years later, across the country in California, a group of feminists were also forming a fat activism group called the Fat Underground, and they came loaded with a manifesto. The Fat Underground made insane claims, including comparing being called fat to racism. They also went on to demand that doctors or
Yeah, I actually take people that cry like fat shaming as seriously as I do people that cry racism. As in, I don't take you guys seriously. You guys are a bunch of bitches.
who they called enemies take responsibility for damaging their health and falsely claim that they are unfit as a result of being overweight. They also demanded that people selling weight loss cures and programs be forced to take accountability for selling scams and damaging public health. Now, with it being the 1970s, I will give them some credit. In a time where snake
Okay, so they want to sue people for being like, hey, you're kind of fat. Here's a program that might help you. Instead of like us suing them for being so fucking fat and ruining our good time. Like, I don't want to have to be at the beach. Actually, you know what? I passed by this delicious burger place. And you know it's delicious because when I passed by it today, there was only fat people. And I made a mental note. I was like, wow, those are all fat people. And not like just like kind of like a little bit chunk, like with a little bit of a belly. No, they're all like spilling over the seat, like, because there's a bunch of like outdoor tables and they're all so fat. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Why is everybody so fucking fat? Okay, we found my equivalents of boomers.
oil supplements and diet pills were being shilled left, right and centre. It was difficult to find an accurate source to improve your health and shed some extra pounds. And obviously, as you'd expect, these snake oil supplements were all ineffective. But
Knob says, Jess, I'm guessing John is listed as obese with his BMI, huh? Yeah, because he has muscle. So, like, when they're like, oh, BMI doesn't matter, it's not a good... Yeah, no shit. If you have a bunch of muscle and you look good and you look really hot, then yeah, we're not going to wonder about your BMI. But when you have a BMI of like fucking 30 or some shit like that, then we're going to look at you and be like, you need to fucking lose weight. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm sorry for the cussing. But you need to lose some weight. There's no excuse. Like, BMI actually does matter. You are 4'11" and you weigh 300 pounds. Okay, Butterball? Like, that's a problem. That's a big problem. Okay? You're a problem. You're a danger to society.
But they didn't just want to get rid of the snake oil supplements. They wanted to remove diet books, diet clubs, diet foods, and even food supplements, which would include things like whey protein. Activists wanted to get rid of all of these, but not because they knew they didn't work, but because of how it made them feel, despite what they may say in their manifesto.
This is why we need to be shaming people. We need to be making ourselves so good looking and so in shape, and just so you just existing, you just walking down the street is shaming somebody. You just by merely walking into a room, you are making someone feel uncomfortable because of how good you look. That is what I expect from all of my cult members, and you can take that to the bank.
Being told that weight loss is possible made these so-called fat activists so uncomfortable that they wanted to ban the practice altogether. Given that people can and do lose weight, nothing much came of their fat liberation manifesto.
Oh, baby y'all. Okay, I'm probably out, but maybe I'll be back, you know. And, yeah, because this is a good one.
That was a good stretch.
That
was actually impressive.
Yeah, okay.
Hello, everybody. That was a good long time. That was a good long time. I really wanted to see how long she could take it. Hey. What are we talking about? Fat people? I'm just kidding. I know exactly what we're talking about. I was in the chat the entire time. You guys are pretty hurtful.
Festo. But what it did create was a unity between the members.
Boo! John's back. That fat fucking obese turd. Thank you, everybody. And I don't assume I'm not gonna need the bell anymore tonight. So whatever. Fuck
Of the
that
group
noise.
to stand together and resist
Great.
diet
Fantastic.
culture. And as we fast forward into present day, fat activists
I was eating a lot of pizza when I was
of the world seem to have united even more
So
and
I'm
are
just-
somehow even more extreme than their
You know.
historical roots. In today's world, fat activism ideas can spread further and much.
Goofy Boots says there goes the talent. Way to show up at the end, John. Yeah. Boo. Damn it, bring back the talent. Yeah, okay, all right. I get
quicker,
it.
thanks
I get it. Thanks, guys.
to social media.
I ruined your night. Ruined your night. At least she was nice enough to grace us with her presence. She does have a black eye.
This is on sites like Facebook, Instagram,
Look
and
at that. Oh, look. Big B Trucker, he just says Bell. Appreciate that, Big B.
TikTok churn out viral fat activism content for all
It was like a meat lovers. What are you gonna? It's a meat lovers pizza. What?
all across the globe, and this is where the damage really starts. With everyone on Earth being on social media, and with an algorithm tailored to your particular...
Just says, John, stop it. You two are amazing. What a great couple. She did really well. She did actually, she did a lot better than I expected her to. I didn't think, but she did a good job.
Interest,
She did a good
it's
job.
easy to
She'll get less of a beating tonight.
fall into an echo chamber of like-minded people who support each other
I mean, I gotta keep her somewhat in line.
through their own confirmation bias. One of these echo chambers is the fat acceptance and the healthy at every size movement, where influencers on TikTok share their fat positive content, which is where our issues start. Now, some of these influencers don't actually...
We don't use it. We don't go no, because she's busy. She's doing stuff. Remember, we met doing comedy because we met at an open mic.
Cause damage, and they're just trying to stop the flat-out bullying that occurs to obese people.
I
just
was
because
obviously much better at comedy, and I was like much more established in the scene. So she kind of glommed onto me, and it was a thing.
the fat. However, some of these influencers take it a step too far.
That's a whole nother story.
Fat positive influencers are now creating content glorifying obesity and telling people the world should cater to them.
She did have a show a while ago, but doesn't really do it anymore. She can't. She doesn't have the opportunity. She's always babies and stuff.
Obviously, this attracts obese people because it confirms their view that being obese isn't so bad, and it creates this echo chamber we talked about. These fat positive influencers create pocket...
Arden Char says donate to prevent Jess from getting another black eye. You can try. It's like donating to cure cancer. Yeah, go ahead. It's not going to work, but go ahead.
on the internet where only like-minded people exist. Their confirmation bias prevents them from challenging each other's thoughts, instead reinforcing the belief that there's nothing wrong with being obese. For example, in the comment section of this video complaining about fat phobia, someone commented that they couldn't lose weight while walking 25,000 steps a day and eating 1,500 calories a day. Obviously, this person hasn't really...
How many calories a day? How many calories? Wait, whoa. How many?
Someone commented that they couldn't lose weight while walking 25,000 steps a day and eating 1,500 calories a day. Obviously,
liar! You liar! Well, you don't lose a bunch of weight from fucking walking, but 25,000 steps a day, that's like, I don't know how much is that. Like 5,000 steps is like what? A mile? Or 3,000 or 4,000 steps is a mile. Let's say that. So you're walking 5 to 7 miles a day, and which is not impossible. I do that when I go to like Disneyland or something. And then you're only eating 1,500 calories a day. You are a liar. You are a liar. Come on.
Obviously, this person hasn't really done this, because if they did, they would lose weight. But no one commented on the fact that they had to be lying, because it's easier to live in delusion than just to face reality.
Yeah. And why does she look like a fucking, she looks like Thing 1 and Thing 2 from Dr. Seuss. She's like, what? You look, the red shirt and the haircut and stuff like that. You're obviously a gigantic liar, and you live in delusion. Dan's not $5. He says there was a clip on ROTC about a woman from New Smyrna Beach who was walking her dog without a leash, and it reminded me of you guys. Did she get a ticket?
I know this is just one comment, but this is the mindset followers of these fat positive influencers are in. The misinformation is extremely dangerous, and it just encourages the idea that losing weight is not just impossible, but pointless. But
2,400 followers. Anti-diet. I mean, look, you should, like, I can understand being anti-diet, because people get the wrong idea about diets. Because, like, when you're on a diet, you're supposed to stay on a diet forever. Forever. That's how your diet is supposed to be. That is your diet, right? It's not, this is my thing I'm going to do for a month until I lose 5 pounds. And then come off of it and then binge eat until I gain back 25 pounds, 30 pounds or something like that. Get fat again. So, yeah. Her diet is like ice cream and donuts and not moving at all.
these comments are only from public social media accounts and platforms. Hidden behind secret and private groups are much darker, disturbing stories.
Christian says, now let's see how she raid arcs. Jess? I would love to see. She would get shot immediately. She would get shot immediately, and then she'd be on the prox chat being like, no, I have such good stuff. And then that's why they shot you, because you kept saying you had good stuff on prox chat. I don't know why I said, shut up, Jess. Quiet. Stop saying that out loud. And then they're like, oh, but I have all this good pink loot and stuff like that. And then they fucking shot you. And then they shot me because I had no backup.
Of so-called fat activism. After I made a post to my subscribers asking about their experiences, a girl named Ty very kindly messaged me her story, which sheds a whole different light on these private fat liberation groups. Ty used to weigh 350 pounds, and from her own
Couch says, I thought about making a stream about mom Twitter because it's fascinating. You had fun. You had fun tonight, didn't you, honey? I'm glad. Good for you. I'm glad you had fun.
Mission
you did
was
great.
very active in her local fat
one less black eye for you this week.
liberation group. She was spending $40 every day on McDonald's.
That's a little treat. You don't want to spoil them.
And had a ton of health problems.
Right.
Her friends in the group constantly claimed,
Now just be quiet until I come and lock you in your sleeping box. And I slide it under the bed. Then I fall asleep to her whimpers and cries.
these issues, which ranged from edema, ruptured discs in her
What? How do you guys get erections? That's how I do it.
spine, PCOS, and depression were not linked to her weight. They told her that her
I feel like there's a totally different vibe when I come onto this show. It is a completely different thing. Do you guys see the contrast between me and my wife? Do you see the contrast? I heard her talking about mulatto kids and stuff. I'm like, oh, honey, you better be careful because I'm going to get a community guideline strike. And then she said the T word, and I'm like, oh, my God.
body was perfect, and that her issues couldn't
And then she tried to pass it off like she was a mechanic. And I'm like, this is why we shouldn't let them vote. I mean, it's just amongst a myriad of other reasons.
be from the massive McDonald's orders she was eating every day, or the morbid obesity she was eating.
Jess Wegg says, I want to know what mom Twitter is. Bitch, no you don't. That is a toxic online community. That's bad. Mom Twitter is a bad joint, dude. Don't go there.
Eating
Don't
herself
go
into.
there.
However, Ty decided enough was enough and pushed herself to lose weight, which is when the
The
hate
rule is to be nice to everyone but John.
started to pile on.
I mean, yeah, okay, fine. It's not like, okay. It's not even an issue with me now. I mean, you guys have broken me. You were like a mule. You just broke me.
Hate posts made about
And now I just come on the show every night. I'm like, I'm doing this again. I'm just going to get berated and called gay a million times. And I mean, these people really don't like e-bikes, but they love my wife for some reason. Big fan of her. This is probably my best night in weeks. I'm not gonna lie.
Her, people messaging her, telling her she was destroying her body by dieting, and even trying to gaslight her by saying that she must hate her body if she was willing to ruin it by dieting. Eventually, Ty was exiled from the group, all because she was sick of living that way and finally woke up to the fact that her weight was ruining her health. Thankfully, Ty turned her life around, but others will stay in these disturbing groups until it kills them.
Oof. Oof. Born hungry? Why is there a thin person on the... Born hungry, there's a thin person on there? Damn.
Now obviously a lot of these groups online are completely private, invite only, and share extreme views about fat activism, which is eerily similar to
Have Girl John do Woman Wednesdays? No. No, we won't be doing that.
Cult. And when someone wants to leave the cult, they are ostracized, abused.
No, honey, don't get excited. No, we're not doing that.
And told they hate themselves. Yet, no one would tell Ty she hated herself when she weighed over 350 pounds. Because if they did, the other people in the group would have to admit that they hate themselves too. This is one of the key...
Look, there's a... Oof, that stomach is absolutely just pouring out of there. There is a difference between, like... Look, I'm a heavier guy. I'm not fat by any means or any like stretch. I go to the gym pretty often and stuff like that, but I am a heavier dude, but I'm like muscular and stuff. To be like 350, 400, 500 pounds and absolutely have zero muscle. I mean, that is a feat. I mean, you're a big ball of fluff. And she's disgusting. She's gross.
Issues with the fat activism movement. No one is allowed to better themselves. And if they do try to better themselves, they are told they are worthless and they hate.
It's just like, like the detransitioners. You guys know what I'm talking about? I'm not going to say the word that Jess is so liberal to use. The detransitioners, the people who flip the script, you know, and become a guy or a girl or something like that, and then they notice, hey, being a guy is actually a lot of work. It's very difficult, and then they go back, and then they get hammered on by everyone else in the Reddit trans group because they're traitors. They're seen as race traitors, and they get ostracized. They get excommunicated. That's the same issue here. They're a little community. All your friends are fat, right? And if you decide not to be fat and turn your life around and like do something good for your health and your life, they're like, you're a traitor and we hate you for it. It is the same thing going on. It's just like the Sulk stream. If somebody wants to better their life and like leave the Sulk stream, we'll hunt you down. You know, we have your addresses, we have your IP address, we have your name and stuff like that. I have your power of attorney. Everyone signed those letters, right?
Themselves because
Everyone
they can't bear to see
Good.
people finally wake up to the fact that they're slowly killing themselves. And I need to remind you that this is all under the guise of
Might all Mondays.
of loving yourself at any weight, but it's easy to see the reality. Obviously, people at a healthy weight can suffer the same symptoms that Ty had, but they were undoubtedly exacerbated by being overweight. Now, a lot of fat people claim that they can be healthy while being morbidly obese, and if anyone, including doctors, claim otherwise, they are being fat phobic, even citing medical fat phobia. Now, claims of medical fat phobia are rife within fat activist groups, and it is essentially where a fat person goes to the doctor with an issue, and the doctor is likely to blame it on their size rather than look into it.
Medical fat phobia. What's wrong with me, doctor? You're having a heart attack. You're just being fat phobic. You are having a heart attack right here on this bench right now. You're just a bigot. You're just a bigot. And then he dies. I don't know. Why go to the doctor? Why go to the doctor? You know exactly what he's going to say. He's going to say you're a fat fucking fat. You're a fat fucking fat. A fucking fat. You got to be less fat, you fat fuck. And combinations of those three words.
Further.
As As a fat person, I often dread medical appointments because of blatant medical fat phobia. The last OB appointment I went to, the provider blamed everything on my weight and told me that I needed to go on medication.
Blamed everything on your weight, like your high blood pressure, like your the cartilage in your knees being all ripped up, like your insulin resistance, like your, I don't know, your the plaque in your veins, like your, I don't know. Keep going. I'm not a fucking doctor. There's a lot of bad things. Like your constant huffing for air, even though you're just sitting there. Come on, dude. Like, what do you want? What do you want the doctor to do? What do you want the doctor to say? You're like, well, you're looking healthy as a horse. I mean, you weigh as much as a horse. And you can't run fast, but you eat roughly the same amount of calories, which I would consider healthy for a horse, which you weigh the same as.
Now, I will say,
what's the point of being a doctor? What is the point of being a doctor and just being like, I just can't say anything. This person here with the balls and a penis says it's a woman, and I'm not allowed to. And like this big fatso says I can't blame her cardiovascular issues on her big fatso-ness. What's the point of being a doctor? If everyone's just going to be like, well, you're just a bigot. You're just a fucking bigot, you bigot. You handsome doctor. You tall, handsome, rich doctor bastard. All right. Well, you're actually a guy and you're fat. And I'm sure there's other ones out there too. Gay people have AIDS.
to an extent, I can say this.
Is that being homophobic? If like a guy with AIDS comes in and you're like, I'm sorry, but you have AIDS. And they're like, wow, that's pretty homophobic. That's pretty homophobic. You diagnosing me with AIDS, even though I take loads in the ass every weekend by random strangers, and not just one or two, a bevy of random strangers just shooting hot loads into my ass every weekend. That's pretty homophobic, Doc. What are you going to call that fat person over there fat too? What about that dude in the dress? You going to call him a dude?
Happening. And obviously, everyone deserves to have their health problems looked into properly.
There's no point. There's no point in being a doctor.
And with care. People do sometimes get misdiagnosed with their health issues, wrongly blamed on their weight. But at the same time, some people whose problems are genuinely weight related use the idea of medical fat phobia as a way to
Knobstock says if you overinflate your tires, you don't blame the road for the failure when the tires explode. That's a good point, right? Your tires just ate too much air.
Shift blame and dismiss doctors because I've seen others online talk about being misdiagnosed. It's also gotten to a point where people will actually go to the doctor's office and be so adamant that their issues aren't caused by their weight, they will just flat out refuse to talk to the doctor about weight loss.
At the start of the visit, I set boundaries by saying something like, I have certain issues I'd like to focus on, and I'd like to not discuss weight or weight loss.
Instead of seeing a doctor's
okay, I can't feel my toes, but I'd like to not talk about my weight or weight loss. What is the doctor supposed to say? Well, you have become so insulin resistant because the sky is blue, that your toes aren't getting any blood flow into them. And we're going to need to amputate them because the sky is blue. I would retire. I'd quit being a doctor. I'd be like, this isn't fun for me. I'm not doing anything good here. I'm just lying to
as
these
a wake-up
people.
call. Some people convince themselves that any mention of weight is just discrimination, despite the...
Christian says, Doc, I've been... Doc has been shot. You are black. Wait, black? You are racist. I see what you're trying to do. The doctor's like, you've been shot. And the black guy's like, that's racist.
they're needing oxygen fed straight up their nose. And unfortunately, that mindset doesn't change reality. Obesity still carries massive health risks, whether they want...
flop that shit on the table, right? Oh, God, she'd be pretty if she wasn't so fat, too. That's a shame. I hate seeing that. There's a lot of chicks out there that like have just ruined themselves because they just let themselves get super duper fat. That's a shame. A lot of people aren't ugly. There's ugly people out there, don't get me wrong. I see them all the time. And I stare too. But there's people out there that should be pretty. Like, you would look gorgeous if you weren't so fucking huge. That's sad. That's sad to me. The worst part is when I see kids that are fat. Because, it's like not their fault. Their big fat fucking parents made them fat like that. And that's not cool. I've never seen a fat kid with thin parents. Have you? You guys ever see that? I've never seen that. Never seen a fat kid with thin parents just being like, come on, Jim. We're just trying to get you to like lose some weight, man. I mean, like, look at us. We're shredded. Not big fat Jimmy boy.
Acknowledge it or not. And as we've seen in my previous videos, people die all the time due to obesity-related illnesses. And if people don't believe that, they are in denial. This extreme...
Hey, babe. Let's talk about fat kids.
Fucking hate fat kids.
Hate them. Hate them.
Yeah.
How's the baby?
Out.
Did he go back down?
Yep.
Do you want to hop back on? I'll let you.
No.
Are you sure? No, it's only 15 minutes left. Let's wrap this shit up. Look, there's another. Dan Snot. Oh, wait, no. That was earlier. But there was a couple more. Come on, wrap it up. Everybody, are you guys okay with that? Let's see. We'll wait and see if they... I have to wait because there's like a 15-second delay.
I love these candies.
Yeah. Knobs Dog says yeah. And he calls the shots around here. Can somebody more important than Knobs Dog answer? Literally, it would be anybody. It would be any other person on this show. Preferably one with a whale next to their name who's ever donated once in life, ever. Okay, we'll just let you do it, okay? We'll just let you do it. Okay. Because, you're doing the whole damn show.
Yeah.
Except for 15 minutes of it.
Okay.
Okay. All right, I'll listen for the baby.
Thank you. Hi. Okay, so now that he's gone, just kidding. Just, yeah, raising babies is tiring. But no, I just figured, honestly, I was like, he probably wants to do it. But yeah, that's actually why I don't stream anymore. It's because I just don't have the time. Like, I don't have the time to, like, look for content. Because that takes time. Like, it does. And I don't have the time to, like, I don't know. I like being with my kids. I'm not like I try not to be like a super like helicopter mom or anything, but I actually like being with my kids. So like they'll, I'll maybe get like once a week where my parents will take them. But then I want to spend it with John. I don't want to do, I don't want to do this. Like it was different when we just had the one and he would like go off for like a whole night. And so I would get time with John and I got to do it's okay. It's just not the season for me. Anyways, let's talk about these fatties. They're talking about fat kids. I really don't like fat. I feel bad for when I see a fat kid. I'm like, you are being neglected. It's neglect. If you have a fatty, fat kid, you're neglecting your child, just like you would if you had like a super skinny anorexic kid. Like same thing.
Idea of medical fat phobia really feeds into the same mindset we see in the healthy at every size movement. This movement really took medical fat phobia and just ran with it because a lot of the leaders inside the group are...
It's Okay to Be Christian says, if John's head wasn't so big, you could both be on the show. Now, I'm going to go ahead and assume you don't mean figuratively. Huh? Because he does have a big head with a big brain for all the smarts.
Are really pushing the idea that being obese is not only healthy, but actually doesn't pose any risks at all. And one of these leaders is Virgie Tovar, who is pushing this exact narrative. She has written a number of books, with her first actually talking about her breast obsession.
Fat kid, fat kid, fat kid, fat kid, fat kid, fat kid, fat kid. I think I said 6 or 7. Fucking.
But a more recent one was titled You Have the Right to Remain Fat. Her books and talks boil down to the so-called fact that your weight has no bearing on your health, and that dieting actually causes more damage to your health than your weight ever would. Virgie also talks more about the social issues, which
Yeah, this bitch. I was talking when this first started, and they showed a picture of her. I mean, she's the worst. She's seriously I wish the implications of being so fat would just catch up to her, because she's doing, it's like, you know that Eugene, the skeleton girl, Eugenia something, the really skinny, like anorexic, she's basically a skeleton with some skin on her. Like, she's bad too. Like, none of these people should be influencing anybody to do anything health-wise.
she feels occurs, such as when you feel like someone is being fat-phobic at a party with cake.
A cake-related fat-phobic incident, or CRFI, is that moment when it's time to eat delicious cake and it's interrupted by a moralizing impulse. Inevitably, there's always someone at the party who has to declare publicly that their slice is too large, and that the person who's cutting the cake, almost invariably a woman, must do some disproportionate amount of labor in order.
Some people just don't want a lot of cake. Some people I know this is a surprise, some people don't like cake. Some people just want a little taste because they have impulse control, and they aren't gonna shove their gullet full of fucking cake because they're in a social situation and it makes them feel better. God, I hate this woman. Okay, I don't hate her, but I just don't like her a lot.
Accommodate their need to feel superior.
Now you might think, who cares? If someone wants to spout this nonsense, they can. It's a free country. However, Virgie Tovar isn't just anyone, and she was recently hired by the San Francisco Department of Public Health as a health consultant. This is completely insane. She's actually encouraged people to not talk about exercise or dieting at all. And this is what fat activism is going to bring us. A Department of Public Health consultant actively telling people not to.
So, like, all the fat people can talk about how great it is to be fat and how much food they've eaten and all this other stuff. But, like, the in shape people can't be like, man, I had a great run this morning and I finally got down to my target weight. Yeah, I used to weigh 400 pounds, but now I'm like a solid 160, so I'm doing really good. Like, or like someone that just had a baby, like, be like, yeah, I finally lost all that baby weight. No, jail, right to jail for you, right to freaking jail.
To talk about bettering yourself and encouraging people to eat themselves into immobility. Honestly, I need to do a full video on Virgie Tovar because there's just so much to unpack. But she is just one of the biggest voices in the fat activism community who try to push the narrative that being fat is a good thing. And despite Virgie being the loudest about healthy at every size, she isn't the only one. And while some influencers try to push the idea that fat is healthy, others take it a step further and attempt to normalize being obese and expecting the world to cater to them. Now, if you aren't aware who this fat influencer is, this is JB, whose real name is Jalen, and she has some of the most deluded and ridiculous views imaginable. Basically, Jalen made a name for herself after sharing what it's like traveling the world as a morbidly obese person, complaining about things such as her belly stopping the tray table coming down, seats being too small, and so on. Despite her claiming she wants everyone.
You know what? If you weren't a poor, broke fatty, you could afford, I don't know, first class, where you have plenty of room to be the fat fuck you want to be. Actually, you know what? I don't know. Because those cabins, the seats are only so wide. So like you just like get in there and then the rest of you would kind of like fall out onto like your side tables there. Can you guys picturing? I'm picturing.
At every size to be comfortable, it's clear by her demands that this couldn't be further from the truth. And in reality, she wants obese people to be prioritized. One of the key points she fights for is the right to have a free extra seat on an airplane, claiming it should be a right to fly comfortably and you shouldn't have to pay for that right. But
It's not a right to travel. It's not a right. It's a luxury. And if you want to have a luxurious experience, don't fly coach. Okay? But like I said, I don't think that even first class would be comfortable for this person. And let's be real. Do you guys really want to be on a plane with someone that big? They should have, okay, smaller doors on the plane, right? And if you can't fit, you have to step through it, just walk in normally, just like do. And you're not allowed to turn. You got to just walk in normally. That should be the qualifier for getting on the plane.
this is just completely unfair on literally every other passenger who needs to pay for an extra seat. It's not a radical view to think that if you take up 2 seats, you should pay for the 2 seats, especially when the situation you're in is entirely...
Okay, sorry. I just really hate this because I am a skinny girl. So when I am on a plane and if I'm sitting next to somebody else, if they're fat, they are always fucking touching me. And I fucking hate it because I associate if you're fat, it's like especially this big. If you are fat, you are disgusting. Like I look at you and I get like a disgusted response in my body, which is just natural. It's only natural. And because I know that you're not clean. Like you cannot be as clean as if you were normal sized. So not only are you disgusting, but you're touching me and there's nothing I can do about it. And then you're spilling into my seat and you're like taking up my room. So then I have to hold the fucking line for the skinny bitches. I got to fight and push out against you to be able to sit comfortably in my seat. I am now pressing up against you. And then what? I'm the bad guy because I'm trying to get all of my seat that I paid for.
Really self-inflicted. Now, this gets even worse when fat people aren't just catered for, but they are prioritized. I've mentioned this story in my previous video about JB, but basically in 2023, a woman and 2 teenage girls were removed from a flight after one morbidly obese woman needed an extra seat. Southwest Airlines prioritized the comfort of one person, which left a woman and 2 teenagers stranded in an airport. The only explanation for this is that Southwest Airlines are so terrified of being accused of fat phobia, they caved instantly and kicked them off the flight. The worst part is that JB has actually praised this exact policy.
Southwest Airlines sets an incredible example by prioritizing passenger well-being by offering a free second seat or reimbursement for the purchase of an additional.
She just needs to be smothered in her sleep. Who's gonna know? Who's gonna know? Who's gonna know? You know, I'm sure she doesn't roll over easy. If you just roll her over and just hold her head on the pillow just for a second too long. That's all you need.
Additional seat for comfort and safety of those needing extra space. These policies enhance safety and reduces discomfort and health risks associated with cramped plane seating. Southwest Airlines' inclusive customer size policy should serve as a model for other airlines, encouraging them to accommodate plus-size passengers and eliminate discrimination.
In what world is this right? Surely even people who are involved in fat positivity can say that this shouldn't have happened. And JB didn't stop at airplanes and complaints about travel, even going a step further and demanding, among other things, that toilets should be raised so she doesn't have to bend down as far. Obviously.
See, this is why this person is as fat as she is, because she thinks the world revolves around her and she's greedy. And that is the biggest problem is their gluttony. And it's not just about food. It's about attention. It's about their victimhood. They're gluttonous in their victimhood and oh, poor me, the world's so against me. It's terrible. I cannot.
To people with common sense, they can say that people with disabilities, especially those in wheelchairs, would have even more trouble than they already do going to the toilet. But obviously Jalen doesn't take that into account because she doesn't care and she just wants the world to cater to her. I've covered a lot more of Jalen's antics in my full video, but these incidents...
Because fat people are the most selfish people on the planet. All right, you guys. Well, that is the end of the Sulk stream. Thank you all for coming.
Wait. You gotta do the music and everything.
Oh.
There's a theme behind.
All right. And that's the end of the Sulk stream. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for tolerating me. And hit the like button. Comment, share with your friends. Follow on X, Sulkopath, and Femoid Fairy. You can follow me too. Yeah. And take care of yourselves, because I care about you too. Good night, guys. Love you.
Pop my shoulder, a chip on it. Play with fire, get scorched a bit. You should see what I can do. I can dance when I feel good. Case of the Mondays, washed it away. Weekend at my place. Hey, hey, hey. I can dance when I feel good. I can dance when I feel good.
I'm an incredible soul, unhinged and enraged like a bulldog's fierce growl. I'm spitting fire, burning through these trees, questioning the world, unraveling conspiracies. Talking about Bigfoot, Black Ness Monster 2, government lies they're feeding me their goo. I'm diving deep into this rabbit hole, uncovering the truth, setting fire to their control. I got small nipples, but my voice is loud, born like thunder in this crazy crowd. They say I'm crazy, but I call it woke, unraveling the madness with every word I spoke.